Well, I grew up in the Woodlands, Texas, and I grew up with my sister and my two parents and my little dog, Mia. And I was actually homeschooled up until high school, so that impacted a big part of my life, kind of the way I learned to develop like as a student. I was able to kind of learn to be more independent on my studies. My major is nursing, and throughout my sister's illness, I met a lot of doctors, I met a lot of nurses, and I met a lot of nurse practitioners. And I thought, that's pretty cool, and I kind of started to research more about it. And it's a really neat job that I think kind of suits me because, I really want to be really involved like with my family and, kind of going to everything as much as possible with them, but still being really involved with my work. And I found out that nurse practitioner is kind of like the perfect mix for me. Well, my sister was 18 months older than me. And so being homeschooled, all through our childhood, we were really close. We did everything the entire day together. So we were involved in dance, and since I was like 2 till I was like 12, we danced about 3 hours a day, like 5 times a week. So we were pretty involved with that. And so, our extracurriculars were kind of the same. We were super close. She was kind of like my second mom, because even though she was not that much older than me, she was much bigger than I was. And so she got diagnosed when she was 15. In January, it was 11th, 2009. And before that, like a month before that, she'd been kind of sick. And then finally they took her to the hospital in January, and the doctor was like, no, I think, there's definitely something more severe here. And so they diagnosed her with acute myeloid leukemia. And there's many types of childhood leukemia, and unfortunately that was like the strongest. And so, they told us that for 9 months she was pretty much gonna have to be in the hospital. I first heard of it because of my good friend Bucky Ribick. He was actually diagnosed with Ewing sarcoma in 2009 when my sister was going through treatment. And then when Bucky went to college, a few years later, he went to the University of Texas. And I heard about him getting involved in this organization called Texas 4000. And I really had no idea what it was. And then my mom was like, hey, listen to this. It's a bike ride to Alaska. And I was just like, okay, that sounds crazy. I don't know who would do that. But then, he talked to my family, and he's like, I want to do this ride for Natalia, my sister. He's like, I want to dedicate my ride to her, and I want to name my bike after her. So he's like, so Natalia and I are going to ride to Alaska together. And so that was really, it hit home, and it was pretty amazing the way he honored her like that. And then when I decided to come here, my mom was like, oh my gosh, you can do Texas 4000. And I was like, I'll think about it, maybe not, maybe I will. So I didn't know. But then I started kind of hearing more about it, and I realized, I love, fitness and working out and running and biking, and, I have a story to tell. So I felt like it was a really good organization for me to be a part of. Usually I try to run about, if I go on a run, I'll run about 4 miles, 5 miles, depending on the day. Sometimes I'll go to Callaway Gym. I like to do a fast 2-mile kind of run, and then I'll lift and do abs. It's kind of quick and easy. Well, soccer has been part of my life since I was about 8 years old. I love it. I'm a really competitive person, and it gets your competitive edge out. I remember in high school I'd be really tired from a test or drama, and I'd just go to practice and everything would kind of go away. Everyone has been so amazing with Texas 4000. They're like, tell us more about it. What can we do to help? And I'm so thankful that I have that huge support system. And fitness-wise, it's kept me in shape, which I love. We have our fitness coach. I love him, but I hate him. It's hard sometimes, but we have our 2-hour practices, and after, we're drenched in sweat, but I love it. I love working out, and just that feeling that you put everything you could. And definitely with Texas 4000, there's going to be some days where it's going to feel like giant sprints just up and down hills. And having gone through a lot of hard fitness through high school and with the club team here, I think it won't be as a shock, I think, as some other people who've never kind of gone through a lot of physical pain. You know, like when you're running and you want to stop, you have someone screaming at you to not stop. You know, in my head, you know, maybe when I'll be biking, you know, I still have to go more, and I'll kind of inside my head know how to push myself. So I'm really thankful for soccer, all those, I think, 10, 12 years that I have that to kind of motivate me. So. And she did so well. I remember, you know, the nurses who adored her. Trust me, I'm still friends with them. They love my sister. You know, they would call her like the star patient. You know, she would go around the room whenever a new patient was diagnosed and go talk to them. And, you know, she was just the beaming light in that bleak hall. I mean, everyone loved my sister. She was truly an inspiration, I mean, to everyone, and she touched a lot of lives. And then, let's see, September was really hard. She had a lot of, she went through chemo, and then her lungs started failing. So then by October, I remember my sister was in ICU, and I like wanted to go home to hang out with my friends. I was like, no, I'll just come back tomorrow. And my dad grabbed me. He's like, Ceci, your sister's dying. Like, you don't understand this. And I didn't understand. I didn't know it was that bad. And it was hard. I mean, knowing, because it wasn't for 2 weeks before she actually did pass away, that, you know, your sister's not going to be there anymore. And, you know, I remember just thinking, like, she knows she's going to die. And how do you live with yourself knowing that you're not going to be there the next month? But she was so strong through it all. She was thinking about us. I remember the last time I talked to her, she was like, don't be sad. You can't be sad. You have to be strong for mom and dad. Okay, well, Texas 4000's a student organization here, and so each year they have about 2 teams kind of preparing for the ride. So right now, focusing on kind of helping them get prepared for their ride while kind of starting to mentally process all the goals we need to start. You know, but they go up and share their story, and, you know, just kind of gives you more inspiration to be like, you know, I'm here for, you know, this person, I'm here for this person. Like, all together we're this huge team that, you know, all has one reason to be there.
1, 2, 3, beat cancer!
You know, and we're all gonna go and, you know, bike 4,500 miles to kind of show, you know, these kids who are in the hospital, or, you know, people up in heaven, that, you know, we're thinking about them every step of the way. And also give hope to families that, you know, while maybe we're not battling cancer, we're going to battle this huge, long journey. And it's like a metaphor, pretty much, for this terrible disease. And so I'm really lucky to be a part of it. You know, I can't think of any other way than to spend my time than each Monday, you know, go to these meetings and hear the incredible stories. And I can't wait for 2015. And on October 28th, 2009, she did pass away. You know, I don't regret anything that happened. I was there holding her hand till the end. So, you know, she lived an incredible, beautiful life. And I hope through Texas 4000 I can, you know, honor her.